These are things I think everybody should know coming into high school. Do your work. Not everybody is your friend. You don't get away with everything anymore, I promise. Act your age and don't try to grow up too fast. Always do your best, because the best effort is the only effort that's ever gonna really matter. Hey guys, it's Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys some freshman advice coming from an incoming junior. Today's video was really just inspired by the school year ending, and I know some upcoming freshmen, so this is like kind of my advice to them and like everybody else in the world that's becoming a freshman. These are things I think everybody should know coming into high school. I'm kind of just going to go category by category, so bear with me if I get a little off track. The first category I'm going to get into is school and grades. The main part of school is to get an education. Yes, it's there like to help you build your social skills, life skills, everything like that, but you're mainly there to be educated. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I know not every single teacher is going to do a great job at getting you to that point. But the main thing I could tell you is do your work. Like, there's literally nothing else to it. Just do your work. Half of your credits in an assignment are from turning it in on time. I've never met a teacher that will like give you full credit for turning in an assignment late. It's usually at least 50% off. So when you're doing your assignments, do them on time. Even if they're not right, just attempt to do them. Show that you're making an effort, because then when you make an effort, it also shows your teachers that you're trying and you're not just being lazy. Another thing is to also be on your teacher's good sides. Like, it'll help you so much. Don't be a teacher's pet, but be your teacher's friend, if that makes sense. Don't always be rude to the teacher, giving him or her attitude. Be kind to them. Ask them how their day is. Try to get to know them better, because then they'll give you favoritism. And even though they shouldn't, it helps you so much in the end. At some point, you might be having something going on where you're turning in your assignments. Like maybe you had a soccer game and you weren't home until 11 p.m. Then you could explain that to them and communicate to them. And because they know that you're a good student, or they know you, then they'll kind of give you a little more room or be a little bit more lenient towards you. So get to know your teachers and turn your work in on time. Don't stress about your grades too much, because then when you stress about them, it's just going to make you do worse and worse and worse, because the stress is going to bring you down. So don't stress too much about your grades, but do your best. Always do your best, because the best effort is the only effort that's ever going to really matter. If you have a big thing about having an A or not having a B, a B is also above average. I just found that out recently. I did not know a D was passing. A D is passing high school, but college level, C and higher is where you need to be at. So as long as you have a C, C+, you're good. Don't cry about not having an A in every single class, because you're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're a freshman in high school. You're 13, 14 years old. Let's go ahead and relax. Oh no! Next thing we're gonna dive into is friends and peers. I'm saying peers because not everybody is your friend, and that's something you really need to understand going into your freshman year. Especially if you're going into the school year with people you know from middle school and high school. A lot of people say it's so different. It's not too different, but it's definitely not the exact same. Middle schools are much smaller, therefore when you walk around, you'll see the same people every day, and it's easier to become more known around your peers and everybody. You'll see somebody be like, oh, I've seen them before. In high school, you'll be 9 months into the school year, last quarter, and you'll see people you've never seen in your entire life, and they've been there the entire year. High school is much bigger than middle school. When you're in high school, you kind of have to understand who you want to be around. Not everybody is your friend, but not everybody has to be your enemy. You could go into high school with the friend group that you've had since elementary, but then you all don't have the same classes, so that one thing makes you drift apart. Oh, you all don't have the same lunch, another thing helps you drift apart. But it's not necessarily a bad thing if you drift apart, because just because you're not necessarily best friends anymore doesn't mean you have to hate each other or have beef. It just means you've grown apart, you've matured. Which is also another thing you should do, is be friendly, but you don't have to be friends with everybody. Be cordial. Walk down the hallway, smile at somebody, say hello. Maybe they're in your math class, but you guys aren't friends. But you can say hi to them just to be polite. Being kind will literally get you so far in high school because you don't want to be known as the mean girl or somebody who's like a bully or rude to everybody. Don't do that. If people know you as that and that's not who you are, you know you don't do anything to have that role or that title, don't even stress about it. Don't even stress about it, baby. Don't even stress about it. Because people are always gonna assume you are something that you're not because it's easier. Just like it's easier to be mad than it is to be happy, or it's easier to hold a grudge than it is to forgive somebody. They're always gonna pick the negative things about you before they pick the positives. So don't let it get into your head. Another thing with friendships, don't tell everybody all your business. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you are that person that likes to share the things with the people that they trust or that you're friends with, keep a tab on who you share it with. If you're going to share a story to Vanessa, Jessica, and Emily, make sure you know you shared which details to who. If you said you went to a party and you drank fruit punch, you had a cookie, and then you ate cake, but you only told Jessica you ate fruit punch, you had fruit punch, a cookie, and cake. You told Emily that you only had fruit punch, and you told, who was the other person? I don't even know. Vanessa, that you had cake. And if somehow, some way, Emily knows that you had some cake when you only told her you had a cookie, then you know it was Jessica or Vanessa. So keep a tab on who you tell things if you are going to share. If you're going to share things, know who you told them to. Like, that's non-negotiable. Know who you're telling your business to. Because then if it gets around, you can track it back to the source. If you think somebody has a problem with you, don't go around telling everybody else that you think they have a problem with you. Tell them, or don't say anything at all. Simply ask, hey, are we good? That's literally it. That's all you have to do. Are we good? I feel like we've been off. Are we okay? If that's something you're comfortable with doing. They'll say yes or no. If they say no, say whatever you need to say politely, move on with your day. You don't need to have any beef with anybody. You don't need to hold any grudges, because all that's going to do is set you back for the years ahead. Because then you're going to be in junior year. You're going to be partners with the same girl you had a grudge with, and now you guys can't do any work because you still have beef. For what? No reason at all. When you come into high school from middle school, a lot of people are going to switch up, especially the boys. If you are friends with guys, I'm a girl who's friends with a lot of guys, and they do sports, especially football, they're gonna switch on you like that because they have this thing in their mind where they're better than you just because they're on the FRESHMEN football team. I don't know, it's more of an ego thing, but don't let that get to you, because at the end of the day, they're gonna miss out on your presence, on your friendship, on your lovingness. So don't ever let that be like, wow, what did I do? Like, why don't they talk to me anymore? I must have messed up. No. You didn't do anything wrong. It's literally all in their head, and they're doing something weird, and you're just affected by it. Don't let that ruin your mood, your day, your school year, your nothing. Even if you guys were locked in best friends, you'll be okay. I promise. You'll always be okay at the end of it. You'll always be okay. Coming from somebody who's had a lot of drama, try to stay out of it. Like, I know that's something everybody says, but just try your best. Sometimes it's hard to avoid drama. Like, I've been sucked into so many different things for no reason. I have rumors going on about me at a school I don't even go to. But see, you ignore it and you move on, because at the end of the day is gonna end. So don't try to forcefully put yourself in drama, especially if it has absolutely nothing to do with you. There's certain scenarios where you can intervene, and there's certain scenarios where you don't, and you mind your own business. If it's like one of your best friends is getting bullied or they're getting harassed about something, then that's a place where you could say something. Be like, hey guys, let's not do all that. Stick up for your friend. But if it's like something like, oh, two people that you don't even know are arguing, and you decide to be like, oh yeah, she said this about you and he said this about you, don't do that. That's so unnecessary. And then when they're all in the principal's office, you're gonna get dragged into, and boom, it's gonna be on your record. This isn't middle school. You don't get away with everything anymore, I promise. Everything that happens to you matters. Try not to get any detentions, because I've never gotten a detention, but I know they rack up. Like, they rack up, and then you're gonna be sitting 4 hours after school. Try not to get any detentions, because I've never gotten a detention, but I know they rack up. Like, they rack up, and then you're gonna be sitting 4 hours after school. It's really just a bad look. It makes you look very very lazy, very immature, and that's not something you want to be yeah. You don't need a huge friend group, you just need a few real ones. You could have 3 friends that you know, you guys are tight, you guys are cool. You could even have 1. That's all you really need. 1 to 2 good friends and you're set for life. So don't force big friend groups just because they're aesthetic or you want to be with the popular kids or whatever. You don't need to do that. Now we're gonna get into something that's kind of like more serious: mental and confidence. Luckily for me, I'm grown up as a person who doesn't really care about what other people think about me, so I've lucked out in that field, but a lot of people do struggle with this. First, we're gonna start off with mental. Going into high school, you're gonna be so probably stressing yourself out over nothing. You're probably gonna be the day before crying to your mom or your dad, your grandma, your cousin, your brother, your sister, saying, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm so scared. All the older people are gonna yell at me, they're gonna be so mean to me. No, they're not. I promise you they're not. High school isn't as scary as it seems. It's different than middle school, but middle school is also different from elementary, and you got through middle school, so you're gonna get through high school too. But when you walk in on that first day, everything's gonna seem so large, so confusing. But when you get through that first 2 days of the week, you're gonna be fine. So don't even start stressing yourself out about it, because you're gonna be okay. I promise you're gonna be okay. Don't worry about upperclassmen, because 9 times out of 10, they take you under their wing. The best feeling as an upperclassman is to know that you have somebody younger than you that looks up to you. Especially when I was in 9th grade and there was 8th graders that looked up to me. Oh my gosh, I felt so special, even though it's just a year age gap. And don't ever compare yourself to upperclassmen, because you and them are in totally different headspaces in life. You're thinking about skimming the toilet, and they're thinking about how to discover a dinosaur fossil. You guys aren't in the same mental space at all. You might have some similarities because you're all teenagers, but you're thinking about what's for dinner, they're thinking about what's for breakfast. You're on 2 different wavelengths right now. It's not the same. Don't compare yourself to them. They are a different level of mature than you are, and you will be there one day. So just relax and don't ever try to make yourself more mature to fit in or feel relevant, because you're just gonna regret it when you get there. You're gonna be a senior and be like, dang, I wish when I was a freshman I was just a freshman, instead of trying to be a senior while you're a freshman. Act your age and don't try to grow up too fast. Now, more of the confidence thing. Confidence really comes from yourself. If you're somebody who's not confident, it's because you're allowing yourself to not be confident. If you tell yourself, I'm so pretty, you know what, yeah, I am so pretty. Now, if you tell yourself, oh, look like a troll today, then you might look like a troll to yourself. But it's just like, it's all a mental game. If you believe that you're pretty, you're pretty. Like, nobody could tell you that you're not pretty. Now, you might not be pretty to them, but you're pretty to somebody, and you're pretty to yourself, and you're pretty to everybody that matters. Don't let negative comments also throw you off your game, because somebody might tell you they don't like this about you, they don't like that about you, but who are they? They don't matter. You didn't know them last week, you don't have to know them next week. Next thing we're gonna go into is clubs, sports, and extracurriculars. Don't be afraid to try a sport. Don't be afraid, because 9 times out of 10, I think I've said that like 3 times this video, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be somebody else who's just as confused as you, or even more. There's going to be somebody who always doesn't understand. There's going to be somebody who knows better than everybody. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And a lot of coaches, they know, especially as you're a freshman, you have the upper hand because you're new. So they know, wow, they have some potential. Even if you don't know how to catch a football, they'll be looking at how your hands are placed. Wow, her hands are placed like she knows, like she'll get this if I teach her. Also, when you join clubs and sports, that's also how you make a lot of friends, or like peers, or just people to have in your life, because when you're on a team, you're on a team. So you're going to be constantly around each other. When you're in a club, you're always around each other in meetings. So that's like kind of people that you know will be there. Clubs and sports are also a good thing to put on your college applications, that you did those things, so they could see that you were involved and that you tried things. Next thing we're going to go into is dating and crushes. I don't really have a lot to say about this because I just don't. when you like somebody and you have a crush on them, don't let other people's opinions influence how you feel about them, whether it's positive or negative. When you like somebody, you don't have to tell everybody. That's something you could just keep to yourself, because just because you like somebody doesn't mean you have to date them. You could think somebody is cute. That doesn't mean you have a crush on them and want to marry them and build a house together. You just think they're attractive. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Be careful who you give your time to, because you don't want to waste your time on anybody, because time is precious. You can never get it back. Also, make sure not to rush into things. If you do get a boyfriend or a girlfriend as a freshman in high school, you're 14, 15 years old. Relax. Don't do any PDA, because you're just gonna regret it. Nobody wants to see you making out with your boyfriend in the hallway or your girlfriend in the hallway. Nobody wants to see you guys all up on each other. That's disturbing. We're here to learn. You don't need to be against the lockers like it's High School Musical. And the most important one I will probably say is, don't lower your standards for anybody. Oh my gosh, anybody. And when I say don't lower your standards, I'm talking about things that are reasonable. If you have a standard that they can't be under 6 foot, that's not reasonable. They can't control that they're under 6 foot. I'm saying things like be kind, know how to treat women, be a gentleman, like things like that. Don't lower those type of standards for anybody, especially if it's something to do with addiction or drugs or anything like that. If you know you don't want to date somebody who does that type of stuff and vapes and all of that, just because he's cute, don't date him if he vapes. If that's one of your standards, don't do that, because then you're gonna regret it, or he's gonna pressure you into doing something, and then you're gonna just be all over the place. That's all I really have to say about relationships and couples and crushes and dating. There's not really much to it. It's kind of all the same as middle school. It's just gonna be what it is regardless, but just take more time to think about it before you do anything, especially as a freshman in high school. You're so young. Don't. Now we're gonna move on to the little things that matter. First, of course, don't vape, don't do drugs, don't do any type of substances. All it's gonna do is ruin your life. I know people who have their life ruined already at the ripe age of 15 and a half. Don't do it, because all it's gonna do is make your life worse. Don't go out drinking, don't go out smoking, don't feel pressured to do anything that you don't want to do. Next thing is wear deodorant. Guys, please don't forget your deodorant at home. Like, it's like, I understand sometimes when you forget your deodorant, like, it's, oh man, I forgot to put deodorant on this morning. That's why you keep one in your locker, in your pocket, in your pouch. Keep something on you, some deodorant and wet wipes. I will not stress this enough. Don't put on deodorant over your musty deodorant, because then it's all just gonna absorb into must. Keep some wet wipes with you and deodorant, so you can wipe the old deodorant off and put some new on. Please. Nobody wants to walk around the hallway at 9 a.m. and smell fresh onions. Nobody wants to do that. I promise you, nobody. So please wear deodorant, brush your teeth, keep some gum with you, stay on top of your hygiene, because that's one of the most important things. Because if you're sitting there trying to do your Spanish essay and you smell some In-N-Out right next to you, that's distracting, and you don't want to do that. Your body odor does not need to affect everybody else. So please wear some deodorant, brush your teeth, stay on top of your hygiene. And if you need help doing any of those things, talk to your counselor, talk to the principal, talk to somebody, and they can make it happen for you. I promise they can. I could have said this in the beginning, but if you're in PE, dress out and try, because that's actually so embarrassing. If you're at PE in jeans and a crop top, or if you're a boy and you're in sweats that are sagging all the way down to your knees, that's not cool. It's not attractive. It's not funny. It's actually just really showing you don't care and that you're kind of lazy, if I'm being honest. Because all you have to do is run a mile, walk a mile, play basketball. You can do all of that while talking to your friends. Just try. Oh, and also don't be afraid to ask your teachers for help. Like, I know it can be kind of like embarrassing to some people, but at the end of the day, when you're passing and you're doing better because you asked for help, it's not going to be the end of the world. And if you can't ask your teachers, ask your friends and your peers around you, especially in math. There's been so many math classes where we all didn't know what was happening, but we combined every little thing that we did know, and it helped everybody out at the end. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now the last thing is, I posted on my Instagram story that I was making this video, and I told you guys to drop some questions, comments, or anything that you needed to say to share in this video. So I'm gonna read a couple of them and we'll see if we could get some good advice. First question is it true that freshman year isn't that important? No, freshman year is very important, but it's not to stress yourself out about. Freshman year is kind of like the free trial, but in your free trial you want to utilize all of the time that you get. So freshman year is kind of like the mock run. It's like a scrimmage. You gotta try so it makes your other years easier, because freshman year is probably the easiest year, but it's also one of the most essential. What's a good way to make a good impression with teachers? I kind of touched on this earlier, but all you could do is really just be nice, like be polite. All you have to do, hey Miss K, how's your day going? Oh, did you get your hair done? It looks really nice. I think it's very pretty. Oh my gosh, Miss K, guess what happened? That's all you have to do, is be more interactive, and that's kind of it. The last question I'm going to answer is, should I start wearing makeup? Me personally, I don't wear makeup at all, and I haven't really ever worn makeup. I just started doing lip liner and lip gloss this year as a sophomore. But I would say if you do makeup, to make it something like calm and like collective, like maybe a little mascara, lip liner, lip gloss, all of those things could be cool. But I wouldn't say as a freshman go to school with a full beat face, because then when it comes to events like homecoming and when you finally get to prom or winter formal, then it's not going to be special because your face is beat every single day. So it's kind of like, oh, that's like what you look like every day, versus if you come to homecoming with some blush on, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you have blush on, wow. Like, it makes your events kind of less special. In simple words, I wouldn't recommend wearing makeup as a freshman unless it's something like lip gloss, maybe some mascara. That's just about it. I wouldn't recommend doing a full beat face as a freshman, but that's really up to you and your parents. So 3 pieces of advice that you guys left. One of them says don't date. I don't really touch on this that much because I don't date, so that's really up to you, your family, what's right. But we did touch bases on this earlier, so just take that advice and run with it. Next one is don't stop and talk to your friends in the middle of the halls. I agree with this one. And also, don't walk slow. Oh my gosh, please don't be that person that makes everybody late. Walk at a good pace. You don't have to walk at negative speed in the hallways. We all got places to be. But on that, don't run to class, because that's a safety hazard for everybody else, and it messes everybody else's routine up if they're trying to get around you running full sprint at them. Don't do that. Also, don't run to lunch. Don't run to lunch. Come on. You don't have to. I get a little brisk walk, but you don't need to be sprinting to lunch, because again, it's just a safety hazard for everybody else, and it starts arguments. Honestly, if you're sprinting by somebody, you hit them on the shoulder, then boom, you're in an argument, you're about to fight. Also, don't fight. That's really embarrassing and it makes you look bad. But if it does come down to self-defense, don't ever not defend yourself. If somebody swings at you, you go ahead and swing back. I give you personal permission. Somebody throws a punch at you, you dodge it, and you hit them with one. Okay? Don't ever let somebody swing on you and get away with it. But don't ever swing on somebody first. And the last one says, don't be obnoxious in the halls. I also agree with this one. As somebody that was very obnoxious and loud in the hallways in middle school, you don't need to be yelling, like just trying to be annoying, but you can like be laughing and it gets a little loud. Like, don't try to, like you could be laughing with your friends and sometimes it gets a little loud or whatever, but don't intentionally try to antagonize people and ruin their day because you're bored or you want to be loud. Like, that's unnecessary. Yeah, that's all the advice I pretty much have for you guys. The main piece of advice I could really give you is just enjoy it. You'll only be a freshman in high school once in your life. Live in the moment, be yourself, do your best, give your best effort, because that will always put you in the best spot that you possibly can. And yeah, stay drug free. With that being said, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. If you stayed to the end, comment down below the school bus emoji. Don't forget to follow all my socials at Gracelina Lee Spencer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, I love you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.